Hello and welcome to the Play Creators Conference, and thank you for joining this panel where we're going to be delving into Spin Master's Toy Invention program. I'm delighted that on the panel today we've got Schrieber, Business Development and Inventor Relations at Spin Master, as well as being the head of Spin Master's Toy Invention program at Shenkar. We've got Paul Reynolds, Design Manager at Spin Master and Instructor at Spin Master's Toy Invention program at Ryerson University in Canada. We have Shimelmits, a freelance toy inventor and graduate of the Shenkar program. And we have Kfir, freelance toy inventor and also a graduate of Shenkar's toy invention program. So a huge thank you guys for joining me for this session. Looking forward to sort of getting stuck in and finding out more about this course. But to Tao and Paul, and if we start with Paul, before we get onto your course and how Spin Master has helped sort of grow a brand new generation of toy inventors, how did you learn? What was your education? Was there a brilliant toy invention course back when you were doing it?
Not at all. In fact, I think we can talk about this later, but I think TALS is the very first toy invention program in the world, as far as we know. So that would be for me like 30 years too late. But I had a previous life in fine arts. So I went to an art college here for drawing and painting. And at the end of my 4 years, I like to joke that I came out with a degree in bartending and bussing tables. So later on, I went to school as a mature student when I was 30, actually, for industrial design. And I thought that, I just got married and I thought that I'll take any job, change my life, get out of the bar. But I found that no matter what project I had, I put a playful twist to it. So I figured I'd either wind up in toys or I'd be an Italian furniture designer.
And there we go. And so the Italian furniture scene has lost a potential design icon there. I feel terrible all of a sudden. And Tao, how did you get started? What was your sort of route into the toy industry?
I've been a toy inventor for many years, since the early 90s. I studied graphic design, and I always had an idea, and in some point I decided to try to develop them, and lucky me, it happened. So, toy invention is part of my life for many years.
Great. And that sort of leads nicely onto Spin Master and the launch of the Toy Invention program, which again, here in the UK, there is no dedicated toy invention program. It sounds amazing, and I'm very jealous that other countries have got this. So Tao, how did this start? Where did the idea for this program come from, and how did it begin?
When I started to work at Spin Master, I knew that if I want to succeed and bring cool stuff to the company, I need inventors. At that time, we were around 10 inventors in Israel, I think. And so I decided to create the program. I reached out the Shenkar College and the Spin Master and make the collaboration between them, create the program, and as a result, today we have a big community of fresh and professional inventor in Israel.
Absolutely, it's and it is. I think you're very humble as well, but you have helped create a brand new sort of thriving inventor scene there. So it's incredible. And Paul, a little bit about sort of Spin Master as a company. Why do you think it was Spin Master that has sort of taken the initiative and launched this? Because there are lots and lots of toy companies, and toy companies have needed inventors for years and years and years. So is there anything particular about Spin Master as a company that meant this was a natural thing for those guys to do?
I think so. First of all, the three founding members of Spin Master have always sort of pushed an entrepreneurial spirit. And there's always been, no matter how corporate and big Spin Master has become, there's always still this underlying entrepreneurial spirit. Spin Master also has a reputation of being very inventor friendly and have maintained close ties to many inventors and many agencies. And you know, it's a benefit to us. Spin Master has been nominated for more innovative Toy of the Year awards than any other toy company, and I think that speaks in a large part to the entrepreneurial spirit as well as our close ties to the inventor community.
Yeah, absolutely. And Roy and Ina, let's bring you guys in now in terms of talking about the course. And Roy, if we start with you, sort of what were you doing before the course, and I suppose what appealed to you, what caught your eye about the Toy Invention course?
Well, I was a kindergarten teacher for many years. Yeah, I learned education. I've been in the Boy Scouts for many years, and I had an ODT company. And so basically every day with the kids in the kindergarten, I invented games and toys. That's what I love the best to do with them. They will bring stuff they found in the street and we invented toys from them. And then I heard about the course and I said I will try. I didn't have any background in design. And then I didn't know that it's only invention. I thought you should be a designer also to do some games and toys. So I came and I fell in love from the first second and didn't left it since. Like it's been for, I think, almost 7 years.
Nice.
Since I started, 6, yeah. And I just fell in love and didn't left it. And I have the honor in the last 2 years to escort Tal and teach in the course myself. So it's even funner.
Amazing. So you had I suppose you had 2 educations. You had the on the ground with the kids. And
yeah,
then,
yeah.
And then you had the
Even more, I've been, for the last 3 years, I've been a teacher for 7th graders. And I did a course for toy invention for them. Like for 3 years, there was a toy invention course in my school. We've been in contact with the course in Shenkar. Sometimes they will come to Shenkar and be like the judges of the projects. And so it's been like all my life became to one point, Toy Invention.
So between you and Tao, we've got the entire age group covered. There's no chance of anyone in your area being anything other than toy inventors. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We don't have too many now. That's it. And Ina, in terms of how you found the course, were you doing things before, or was this sort of the first exposure to design and invention and toys?
So before the course, I studied industrial design, and I always dreamt about doing toys and fun experiences for kids. I actually went to industrial design because that's what I wanted to do. And then after I graduated, I found about this course from Tal and about Spin Master. So I immediately signed in. It was the first year of this program. So it was very exciting and interesting. And actually, after I graduated from the course, I went to Spin Master for an internship, which was an amazing experience. I met Paul, I worked with Paul, and I learned a lot from him. And I think it gave me a lot to really understand the industry as an industrial designer, to be a part of the design team, to see how it works. And now to be a freelance inventor, it helps me a lot today to really understand the company.
Yeah, so you were there at the very start, and it's interesting. It came up there, Tao, in terms of this distinction between a design course and an invention course. So there's obviously a lot of people either don't understand the difference between design and invention, and there's obviously a lot of product design courses out there. What would you say, yours is very much a toy invention course, not a toy design course. So for people that don't understand what that difference is, how would you describe the difference?
Okay, so in the program, we are focused on invention and no design. To be in Toy Inventor, you don't need to be a designer. You can come from different background. You need the ability to invent things, and you need to be a creative person. You need to have the passion for toys, but you can, come from different background. In the company, they have the best designers, they have the best people to bring a product to shelf, but they need the idea, and we are focusing on the idea. From the how to develop the idea, how to present the idea, how to create, to prototype the idea, all the things that inventor need to do.
Paul, in terms of, we've spoken before about, and expanding on what Tal said there, some people can be both, and I think we've described in previous chats, you're this rare magical creature that has both inventor skills and designer. So how
said that. I would never describe myself that way. No way.
Other people. So in terms of working in-house at a toy company, how do you balance both skills? Because as Tal said, it's vital that actually in-house inventors do have those skills.
Yeah, that's actually a challenging question, and when I figure it out, I'll let you know. I think it's one of those things. If you are developing an invention for a brand that you're working on, then it's all good. Everybody supports you. Everybody's behind you. It stinks when they don't work, because then it's like, oh no, what's he been wasting his time on? he's got a whole other pile of work here to get done. But you can't stop creative people from being creative. So every now and then you get an itch you need to scratch, and you tend to look behind you as you try to work it out. But truthfully, being a designer in a toy company, as any designer in a toy company knows, is very, very busy. You've got a ton of work to do usually, and that's why, especially Spin Master, I can only speak for Spin Master, but toy companies rely on inventors to feed the pipeline with new ideas. Because truthfully, designers are innovating a lot, but perhaps we are not always generating the inventions. It does happen, but I think most of Spin Master's inventions come from the outside rather than inside.
Cool. And in terms of, if we stick with you and the course, last year saw the Invention program launch in Canada after, as we've said, lots of success at Shenkar. So I was interested, from your point of view, what prompted that move, and how has that sort of first year been? And I'm also interested in with regards to that, you've obviously been involved with the Shenkar course as well. Is there anything different in terms of students and how people's approach to design territory-wise that's different from Shenkar to Canada?
I remember seeing Tal that 6 or 7 years ago with Ina, and I think back then everyone was curious about who Tal was and why is she bringing students around. I mean, we're all so busy, and but then as the years went by, everyone at Spin Master started to see the power of the group that Tal had put together. And as Ina and Roy can both attest to, they're not just people that come around and shadow us. These are guys these are powerhouse inventors that are signing deals and making money, not only for themselves, but for the company. So this is a wonderful thing. So Renan Harari, one of the 3 founding members of Spin Master, had great vision to try to expand this program as more of a global thing, because there's some good business sense behind it. I mean, I think it makes sense to try to grow an inventor community that would be friendly to Spin Master. It's a great business thing to do, but also there was an altruistic aspect to it as well, where I've heard that The inventor community that started off in the States was once a booming thing, but now or in recent years has been on the decline. And Renan had the vision to see if we could bolster that back up, and it would just be a great, wonderful thing for everybody. So Toronto, being where Spin Masters headquarters are, would be the first logical stop, because Renan could try to connect us with some local schools. And I just put my hand up because I love invention, I love design, I love invention, I love Tal's program, I love her grads, I love these guys, I've seen the power in what they do, and I just wanted to be involved.
Cool, very cool. And Roy, if we go back to you again on the course, obviously you've left the course and you're now teaching the course, so you've come full circle. But what would you say, is there anything that's a key lesson or a key learning that you think that you took from the course that you thought, actually that is a really useful thing to take forward now as a freelance toy inventor?
There are many things, but when you work with Tal, I guess, as a student, you know that the first thing is do the job to the end. Don't leave loose ends. So this is the first thing you learn when you work with Tal. And the second thing, I guess, is to do your homework. To learn about each company you go, to learn about the brand, to learn about the categories, and to know where is your invention going, and be specific. And I guess the third thing is do what you love. Don't try to feed the monster with what she likes. Do what you love. Cook whatever you like, what makes you happy. And then good stuff happens.
Very cool. And in terms of when you were on the course, and you've obviously you've created stuff, you've licensed stuff now. Was there anything key that you learned about life as an inventor from that course that you wouldn't have got on more generic design courses, I suppose?
Yeah, there is a big difference, which you can really understand. For me, it was a switch from the industrial design to this course, because I went immediately after I graduated, and then I saw the difference that in industrial design studies, you always think about the design, how things looks, and not so much about the concept, not so much about the idea, and a lot about manufacturing and materials, of course. But in the invention course, it's more about bringing an experience first, and then thinking about the materials or the what supports the experience, which is the most important thing in the invention. Usually in design, you don't think about the idea, you get a brief or what you should deliver, and then it's the design process. But of course, the invention and design work together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm interested in terms of Tal, when you've seen a lot of students over the years join the course, and again, lots of people have lovely things to say about the course and how you teach it and things like that. Is there something about toy invention you think that when you're teaching it, when do you think the sort of the penny drops and they go, oh, this is, they're pleasantly surprised about what this is? Is there a moment that when you're teaching you realize it's when my students know this, that's when they fall in love with it?
I don't know what to answer.
That's all right, Paul. I'm Paul.
I don't know what is the magic happened. It's because of the different, background of the student. I believe that because the people in the program come from different world, you can say, and usually they meet, they sit together and they develop, they work as a team. But it's magic happens when this kind of people sitting together and they work as a team. I believe this is the secret of the success of the program, and the connection with the industry together. This is the secret, the magic, because from the day one we invent toys, and when the program finished, the day after they're ready to work. They know the industry, they know what to do, they know how to do, and you can see product of the graduate everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere, every toys and game in Europe, in Japan, in Israel, in Canada, North America. You can see now, and it's really, it's great.
It's testament to the success of the course that it's not just a nice, PR thing. There's product coming out of it year in, year out.
Can I expand on that, Billy?
Yeah.
Just because you asked me a two-part question before and I never got to the second part, and I think my students would be really angry with me if I didn't answer. And the question was there any kind of, did I find a difference in approach or culture between the Israel group and the Canada group? And truthfully, I thought I would. I really thought I would. I thought maybe the Israelis would be tougher and hungrier, but Tal told me, you're going to see the energy that happens in the room. And so we tried to recreate the atmosphere that Tal came up with. And in fact, as she's talking about all these different types of students from all these different backgrounds coming together, one thing she didn't tell you is in the beginning, you're not allowed to tell anybody what you do for a living. So everybody comes in on this equal playing field. And so it created this wonderful energy, and there was no pecking order among anybody. And in fact, with my own students, at some point in the first semester, one of them asked me if we can just find out what everybody does. And so I put it to a class vote, and this student was outvoted 11-1. And the rest of them said that they liked keeping it anonymous. They felt like it was like an Inventors Anonymous 12-step program, and they were all in it together, and it was really wonderful. And so when you asked Tal, what's the moment that the penny dropped? I don't know if I saw it either, because from day one they seemed to band together. But maybe in the second semester, when they started to we get guest speakers from, all over Spin Master. We had somebody talk to them about games, talk about intellectual property, talk about just character design, plush, all of this stuff. I think they started to see, holy cow, there's something serious here. This is some serious stuff. And so, yeah, very unique program. Very proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I think it's important to stress that as well, that this isn't a course that you have to join when you're 18, 19. It's not one of those where you go straight from school to the university. This is a course that has people of all ages, people of all backgrounds. And Tal, I'm interested in that nugget that Paul just gave us about, no one's allowed to tell each other what they do for a living and stuff like that. Why do you do that? Where did that come from? What's the importance of doing that?
I want to connect them to the childhood, and not in, you are, most of the students come when they are around 30. They're looking for change or to do something different in life, and they are in a high position, in different position. But, the best is to connect to the childhood, and we need to keep it. And it's really, the first project, we asked them to take toys that they like as a child, and to develop for 2020, okay? So everyone expert was for the toys that he loved as a child. I don't need to teach him why he loved, with who, when. So it's really something that when they start to tell us the story about their childhood and the toys that they like to play with. So it brings them automatically to the childhood, and it's a magic. They come to the first day very quiet, and the energy in the room change at the end, and we have a really special atmosphere, I think, and the dynamic in our program.
Yeah, and I suppose on that, it takes away any, you know, you might get, I'm not sure, but you might get, if let's say you had a class and someone has been a design director or someone's been a creative director at a company, and then you have someone who I mean, maybe a bit like Roy, someone who's not from a design background or not from a you know, an industry background. If you told everyone straight away, you might get that thing of people feeling a bit conscious about what they're showing and conscious of you know, the fact that maybe they're not going to be as creative as one of the other classmates. So I think it's a very smart leveler, I think, in terms of that.
I can exchange, add something for this. Like in Toy Invention, it's a lot of, especially when you work in a team, it's a lot about leaving your ego out. And because we work as a team in one invention, and there is a lot of ego. Everybody come for 1 year for this course and want to show what they can do and to show themselves to the world. And suddenly in each project, you take a different part. And so you need to clear all the thing you thought about yourself. Some of our students are professors, some of them are CEOs in companies, and other are kindergarten teacher. And so you need to leave that ego that something great will come out. And so I think and actually 3 weeks ago, I think we finished our seventh program. And in the final meeting, we did a round of everybody told what is their work. Only in the final meeting, everybody knew what everybody worked. So
this is
very funny. Yeah.
I asked them at the beginning in the interview, but I forgot it. And then it was amazing. It was amazing to realize that we have three. I'm like you know, a Poland mother. We have 3 doctors.
And Tao, I'm interested, is there anything in your student, does it help them if they've got a design background? Do you see any sway, or can anyone do it?
I always they are the worst at the beginning.
Yeah,
because
designers are the worst.
They're the worst.
You know, at the beginning, because sometimes the knowledge it's not good for invention, because you know they at the beginning start to think how to develop it, and it cannot the material, all this kind of thing that it's you know, I want them to fly and to think freely without thinking about how to do it at the beginning. Now, if it's a good idea, we will find a solution to do it. I don't know what Paul thinks, but I think that.
Yeah, I agree, but I think there's, you know, like the guys have been saying, inventors come from every background, which is wonderful. But I think having designers in the class is advantageous to the others that may not have the 3D computer skills or prototyping skills. So I think a designer can add a lot to any group, but I agree, if a designer takes over, yeah, we tend to censor ourselves very, very quickly because we know better. So it's very difficult to separate yourself from the designer mind and, you know, just sort of live in a sort of a playground of fantasy before you put the constraints on.
Absolutely. And then just it's just worth thinking, obviously last year it went to Canada. In terms of what you can tell us, if you can tell us anything about the future, is there hope that it could go further and it could go to other territories? What do you think some of the plans are that you can tell us about for the future of the course?
we have many plans for the future, and we have a vision to launch the program in other countries, to collaborate with other universities, and in the next 2 years, we have a plan to launch it in Europe and in Japan, I believe. But I cannot tell you in more details. You can maybe ask me in few months more, and I will be happy to answer you. But now, because of the COVID, everything is
That's it.
slowed
No,
down.
we don't want you to get in trouble. We don't want anyone to barge into the room behind you and drag you off somewhere for saying something you can't. So yeah, to touch on that inventor, designer subject some more. Paul, in terms of, there's obviously a lot of differences in lifestyle and just the logistics of how you work as an inventor versus a designer. How much does the course sort of dig into that, and how does that help produce inventors rather than designers?
So, industrial design, I'm very proud to call myself an industrial designer. It's a discipline unto itself. You typically study to be an industrial designer for about 4 years, but you can learn industrial design in many great schools all over the world. As far as toy design goes, I believe there's only 2 courses that I know of, one at FIT in New York and one at Otis in California. And those are toy design courses. Now, we make the distinction there between design courses and this invention course, because a design course teaches you how to be an employee at a company, to be an internal designer, versus this course, which acknowledges that the best designers are already at these companies. What we need to do is bring them ideas, and the lifestyle is more of a freelance lifestyle. So like Roy is a teacher, he's still a teacher. Ina's a designer, she's still a designer, but they're also inventors, they're freelance inventors. So this course doesn't teach you how to be an internal designer at a toy company. It teaches you how to be a freelance inventor for any company.
Great, amazing. We should plug the course properly in terms of the actual product that's come out of it. So, Roy, is there anything you can tell us about that you've got coming out or on the market that you've designed with Ina that we're allowed to put some photos up of? And can you talk us through sort of how the course helped this happen?
Yeah, of course. Like Ina is the graduate of the first program, and I'm the graduating of the second program, and we started to be partners. And we had one item in Spin Master called Tidy Dye Station with some more inventors from the program. It was a tie-dye station to do your own shirts and bags. And then there is another project we did with 2 more inventors from the course. In the course, they started a project, and then Tal connect me and Ina with them, and we made it happen. And it's a Disney game for Frozen 2, and we're very proud of it. The Forensic Forest game. So it's a really fun mechanical way for a change and a great payoff in the end. This is what we'd like to do best, some mechanical stuff.
Amazing, good stuff. Well, and again, it's testament, the fact like the proof is in the pudding with this sort of stuff, and the fact that there are lots of products coming out. And I know you guys aren't, you aren't the exception. I think that most of the courses having real success, and it's not just, the other nice thing about this, which I think is worth saying, is it's not just Spin Master benefiting from this.
Yeah, we work with a lot of companies. People have contracts with many other companies, and like this job very much.
You need to understand, the program is not about Spin Master. We are not focusing on Spin Master. Because of the supporting of Spin Master is natural, they bring us the toys, but in the program, the students learn to know all the markets. They have a meeting with other company. It's much behavior than Spin Master. It's not.
Yeah. No, I think the entire industry's benefited. Tao, you, like you say, you've helped basically create an amazing, thriving community there. Yeah, I think the whole industry should be up on their feet.
I think even one more thing I wanted to add. You asked when people, I guess more Israeli students, like understand what we talk about and what is to be a toy inventor. In the course, sometime in the middle, we organized to go to Nuremberg Toy Fair. And for us, like in Israel, we have really small toy stores, stuff like this, and really small industry. We don't know nothing that happened in the world. And for us to go there in a group and to see all the industry, I think this is one of the moments something changes.
This is the highlight, I think, of the program.
This is the highlight, and this is before we go to the project, to the big projects. And I think this is changes. And something else, we organize tours in other companies, not only in Spin Master, so the student can look for all the company and for all the industry and see the difference. And this is, I guess, one of the highlight points of the course.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's superb. And like we said, in terms of both Spin and other companies and now in Canada, and I have fingers and toes and everything crossed that here in the UK we get something similar at some point. So yeah, no, it's great. So a massive thank you to all for being involved and for sharing details of the course and things like that. And thank you for watching, and we'll speak very soon.
Thank you.